Welcome in, everybody. Starting early as usual. We got a great guest tonight. It is definitely going to be 007 Jigs. He will be our special guest tonight. We're going to learn a lot about him and maybe even some secrets. You never know. Hey, thanks, Sims. Welcome in, buddy. Hope everybody's having a great evening. Hopefully we can bring some information your way. Shh. What's up, Bubba? Got Bubba in the house. Yeah, I'm excited for tonight. I'm ready to get this one going. Learn some more about 007. I've been in quite a few of his lives, and I know a lot of you guys know him. I may not know him as well as some of you guys do, but we're going to learn some more. Who we got in here? Sims, Bubba, JP, and Glenn. Welcome in, JP, Glenn. You guys have never tuned in? Stick around. It's going to be a great show. How is everybody tonight? Did you get out and do some fishing? That's all I've been doing. Just fish, fish, fish. I am not making any baits right now. None. Pouring there. Yeah, we've got some rain and stuff moving in. I think it's supposed to rain the next couple days, but half the dang day. Yeah. Sim says work. Out of town working, no fishing. Dang. Heard you got a trip to Mass. No, actually, I wouldn't be going. My wife was planning a trip with one of her friends, but unfortunately, work told her that nobody can have off in September, October. They're changing their systems over, and nobody can take any days off during those 2 months. So she's going to have to replan that. What up, Strouds? Northwater snuck in here. That guy's sneaky. What up, Northwater? DH tackle. That guy's sneaky. Too much to type. Too much to type. The heat killed you 3 times today. It was humid here. It wasn't super hot, but it was nonetheless, it was sweaty. 007's in the chat. 112. No, we were in the 80s. 007, you are more than welcome up in the box at any time. We will not start the interview till 7, but you're more than welcome to join in up here and start chatting with us. Fixing to get down. I'll send you a request. If you want to come in now, go ahead. If not, you can wait till 7. That's completely up to you. Let me find you here. Dang. I don't know what that was. 007 guest. What happens at 7? We start the interview with Mr. 007 Jigs. How's it going, brother?
What is happening?
Oh, you know, just hanging out.
Get some stuff turned on here.
Yes, sir.
There we go. I was going to try to do the green screen thing, and I was like, yeah, I'm not trying to figure all that out right now. So
I got pretty proficient at it just because I always have this green screen behind me. And I'm kind of, we have a living room and then we have a family room. But to get to the bedroom and bathroom area back here, you have to walk by me. So for my wife and kids' sake, I put up the green screen so you can't see anything behind me and they can freely walk back and forth and nobody knows it.
That's right. That's right.
It works out. Plus I like displaying the podcast and Pretty Lures logo and stuff. So
there you go. Shoot, yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. What's up, North Waters? JP? Strauss?
You got some people yelling at you down there.
How are y'all?
So yeah, we'll start this interview at 7. I'll go through my usual, I introduce the podcast, I introduce the sponsor of the podcast, I talk about my YouTube channel a little bit, and then we'll get to some questions and just have a great conversation, man. Figure out a little bit more about you.
Shoot, Jeff, I can't wait. I'm an open book, so I don't mind talking. I'll talk about anything. It doesn't matter to me.
That works for me.
Good. Yeah, I'm good.
Legacy. Yeah, I usually start about 15 minutes early just to get everybody in the chat in here, let them say hey, talk a little bit. I have been paying attention to the chat more during the interview. I've gotten used to not only running the interview, but being able to look down at the chat, which sometimes gets me in trouble because some of these guys crack some jokes down there and I cannot help but laugh. And that part gets me in trouble.
That's right. Yeah, and I'm sure I probably know who the majority of those are. That
oh, I'm sure you do.
Yeah,
I'm positive you do. What up, Pretty Lures?
What's up, Pretty Lures? How are y'all?
Little River Lure Lady is in the house.
What's up, Wheels? How you doing, brother? Yeah, what's funny that Wheels actually lives he's like 30 minutes from me, honestly and truly. So yeah, he's right up the road. So
that's awesome.
He's come a long way from where he started at for sure. And I never figured I would see him painting baits. I figured he would always pretty much just be doing the crappie jig thing, and that was gonna be it. The next thing I know, he's got a freaking airbrush kit. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? I was like, and now here I am talking about buying an airbrush kit. So
it's funny you say that because I'm starting to get some tying stuff around. So
really,
yeah,
well,
I that was my original. Was me and my fishing buddy were going to tie our own jigs because they get expensive, right? And if you're putting the jig in the right spot, it's usually deep in some brush or somewhere you may not get it out of.
That's right.
So that was kind of the plan, and it never really took off. I had all this stuff sitting out in my garage besides the vise. And recently, a friend of mine, North Waters and Holly, hooked me up with a simple little vise, and I haven't tried anything yet, but I'm getting the stuff around, and I think I'm going to tie a few here soon.
Well, all I can tell you is this: be careful, because if you think painting hard baits is a rabbit hole, just wait till you start getting into the tying side of it, because I
already know.
Yeah, trust me, it will. It'll have you scratching your head like, crap, like just when I thought I needed this, then I need this, I need this, I need this.
Yeah.
It never ends. It never ends.
You see Pretty Lures comment, let us know when you're ready. Talking about new spraying.
Hey, I'm ready.
Little River has to share her clear before she can. That's not happening. I don't know who all saw Little River's time on the podcast, but that was the one thing that is hers and hers alone. She does not share her clear coat, and she does a phenomenal job. Nobody can deny it. You look at her baits, and the clear coat on them is phenomenal, but that's the one thing she won't share. I'm falling behind in the chat. Lots of people popping in here. I appreciate you all coming in. There's Outdoors with Tiny. Let's do a quick shout out. We got Lawrence Lures, Northwater, Legacy, Sims, JP, Strouds, Jigs on Wheels, Doe Run. What's up? Pretty Lures is in here. Outdoors with Tiny, Cranked Customs, Little River Lure Lady, Glenn, Clark Hill Customs, Jesse, Christopher, Most Hated. All right. Baby's in here. Shane's Fishing. What's up, everybody? Welcome in. Welcome in. Appreciate you showing up. But yeah, she does an amazing clear coat. She decided to keep that to herself. I think almost every bait maker has something. And when I say bait maker, that includes everybody who does any type of baits at all. They have something they like to keep to themselves.
You have to. You can't tell everything.
No. If somebody figures it out, great, good for them. But
that's right. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, there's some things that I won't tell, but I am pretty much I'm that guy that I do not have a problem, honestly, sharing whatever I know, you know what I mean, with anybody, Now I may share something with you and be like, hey, whatever you do, don't show nobody this. This is between, and if you let it out, guess what? I ain't showing you nothing else. So I will do that from time to time.
Two things. I have two things in my arsenal that came from another bait maker. And when they showed me, they said, please don't show this or tell this to anyone else. And guess what? Those people could be in the chat right now. They know who they are, and they're like, they know. I have said not a word to a soul. Yep. And that's a respect thing. You showed me a secret that you haven't showed anybody else. So there's no way I'm going to let that out.
Yep.
No way.
That's exactly right.
We got about 2 minutes, guys, and we'll get started. Clark's Hill Custom. I think he's been the stickler for anybody who says, I'm not going to share that. Boy, he is busting you down. Because I'm going to say if you don't know who he is, but I think everybody does know who Frank is. He runs his YouTube, and it is a plethora of knowledge. Really? You can go over there and he will show you how he does everything, breaks it down. Appreciate it. Thank you. So I think that's where he gets his little digs in at people. He's like, oh, come on, you can show us. He said one time, I'm going to take down every YouTube video I've ever made. I'm not showing anybody nothing.
Oh,
appreciate the gifts. What's up, Poo Fishing? And
I'm still, like I said, there's still a lot of you guys that, since I've come across a lot of you, man, I mean, I've never been interested in doing like hard baits or anything like that. And I'm still not, I'm interested, but I'm not going to go out and just start it. But I have been kind of questioning my game a little bit when it comes to the whole airbrush thing. Cause I'm like, I could see where this would be useful in doing certain techniques and stuff like that with different things. I won't get into it. We can get into that here in just a little bit, but anyways, but once I realized that, it was like a light went off and I was like, I could see where this would be really beneficial to what I'm doing. So of course, Holly and Jeff and Wheels and, is it Walleye guy? Is that it?
Yep.
Him, all those folks, everybody has just been a plethora of just trying to help out and all that kind of stuff. So kudos to everybody, man. I mean, and one thing about the bait making world, man, I mean, there, like we were talking, there is folks that have secrets, and then there's guys that, yeah, they're going to help you out. But like we said, if you show anybody, guess what? I'm not showing you nothing else, and you don't ask.
Nothing. Yeah, that's
Uh,
the way it goes for some of them. All right.
that's right.
It is 7:00. You guys know what time it is. It's time for the Pondcast. I'll be your host. I'm Corey with Uncle Corey's Custom Lures. This is going to be our guest of the night, Mr. 007 Jigs. If you guys have never tuned into the Pondcast, you are in for a treat. We do a full-out interview. It's all live. The chat is interactive. At the end of the show, I try and catch some questions in between, but mainly at the end of the show, if I have missed any questions or questions that you might have for Mr. 007, you can ask them at the end of the show. We'll make sure and get all those answered for you. Also, the Pondcast is sponsored by Pretty Lures. If you have not gotten over to Pretty Lures and checked out their site, do yourself a favor and check it out. He's talking about getting into airbrushing. He does his jig tying. I'm sure he's been over to Pretty Lures. I know a lot of people go over there for their jig tying stuff, for their airbrushing, for their paints, for their blanks, vices. It goes on and on. They have everything you might need over there. They do have BSI for the clear coat. And when you get their BSI, it comes with brushes and a plate to mix on. They're really trying to take care of the bait making community. That was a whole reason for starting it. So make sure and get over and check them out. We will do some giveaways tonight. One of the giveaways will be from Pretty Lures, but it's going to have a twist tonight. It's going to be a little different. It's going to be a little different. We're still going to do it with the code. We're still going to do it by number. But, you'll see. You'll see. It's coming. 007 says he's going to do a giveaway for you guys tonight. If you've not seen his work, make sure and follow 007. Get over there, check out his work, send him a message. He does a lot of different stuff. He does some great bait making. So we're going to get into all that. First, let's start with, what state are you in?
I am in the good old Sunshine State of Mississippi.
There you
right
go.
Now it is nothing but sunshine and heat. So we're stealing the sunshine from Florida, because I'm telling you, it here in Mississippi, it is without a doubt, it is just like the devil breathing down on us every day right now. It sucks.
I could only imagine. I live clear up here up north in near Sandusky, Ohio, and it's been hot. It's been hot.
Same here. And I mean, and of course, I'm sure you guys, I guess y'all have the humidity as well as that we have. So, I mean, it is just miserable, man. I mean, I used to be about 400 pounds, and all this heat's got me down to about 270 right now. So I'm doing good.
Well, we do deal with the humidity because we have such a large body of water. You know, here where I live, I'm basically a peninsula. I'm surrounded by water. Look at that, the cowboy hat.
Appreciate you, S&J.
So when this heat goes up and that evaporation of the lake starts, oh man, it just gets, it doesn't have to be hot. Today was only 80 degrees, but I work in a factory, and in that factory, it was just sweaty hot. Your clothes are just hanging on you. And I think everybody knows what that humidity's like. You get rid of the humidity, and it still sucks, but it's a little more tolerable. You add that humidity, and it's like you can chew the air.
Yep, without a doubt. And you wear it all day long. You never get rid of it. So
you don't.
Yeah, it's so hot that you can go in and take a cold shower, and you're gonna start sweating as soon as you get out of it. So it's just what it is.
Yeah. You got it. So is bait making your full-time thing, or is there another income that you do besides your bait making, like a regular job?
I do have a regular job. I've been fortunate enough in my career. I've been in civil service for about 28 years now. So I've only got, I'm counting them down at this point. 10 years can't come soon enough. So,
Go ahead.
But I have been truly blessed. I love what I do, working for the government, civil service, and dealing with the government. You will pull your hair out. That's why I ain't got none. But it has its moments. I mean, it has sort of self gratitude of being able to help our service members out, and because in the civil service world, I mean, we're all one big team. You know, everything that we do has a purpose for them, and everything they do has a purpose for us. So it goes hand in hand, and I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, honestly and truly. But I do. This is my pretty much a side gig for me, or not really a gig. I mean, I love I love it. I've been doing it for about 17 years.
Wow.
So yeah, I've been doing it for a long time. I just went public with it about 3 years ago. I love doing it, man. Every since I've been a minnow fisherman my whole life, because that's all my dad's ever done.
Yeah.
So the first time I had a buddy call me up and said, "Hey, we're going crappie fishing," I was like, "Okay, I'll bring the minnows." He was like, "No, we're not bringing. We're not fishing with minnows. We're fishing with jigs." And I was like, "Okay, this is gonna be new," you know. So, the second drop I made that morning with that jig, it was over with. I was like, "I've got to figure out how to do this," you know. And I've had the bug ever since. My dad fishes with minnows out right next to me every time we go fishing, and I fish with jigs, and it's a really good combination. So that's kind of, y'all listen to that, because we'll come back and touch on that here in just a little while. So, but no, I started this a while back as, like I said, just a fun thing. And then here I went public with it about 3 years ago. And I had a good friend of mine pretty much tell me, you know, "Hey, if you're wanting to do this when you retire, go ahead and get started now and get your name out there." Because he said that's 10 years that you're gonna waste, that you can already get clientele if that's what you want to do, and get your stuff out there. I was like, "Hey, he's got a point," you know. So that's what I done, and I haven't looked back. I love doing it, except for this time of the year. It sucks this time of the year.
Yeah. Well, you're not wrong. I think everybody's so busy fishing that they're not worried about getting many more lures, and unless they're losing a lot of them, you know, that's when they're more into it. But you said you started about 17 years ago.
Yes, sir.
And you just went public 3 years ago. And what a great suggestion from your buddy for you to go public with it, especially on a platform like this, where there's so many like-minded people. And I know your popularity is gaining and gaining, and your name's getting further out there. But for those years before, did you sell locally? Did you make them just for yourself and your buddies and just give them away, or?
That's it. That's all I done. And then for a long time, I poured. It was a hobby, and you all know, everybody knows that with a hobby, you just pour money into it, and you really never get anything out of it other than when you catch fish on what you've made. That's when we get our satisfaction out of it, or that's when we should get our satisfaction out of it.
Yes.
And like I said, I mean, pretty much all I ever wanted to do is pretty much sustain being able to turn around and replace supplies. And that even to this day, that's how I look at it. I just want to be able to sustain what I'm doing. If I make a little bit of money on the side, great. But I want to be able to continue to buy supplies and be able to put this stuff out there. Because honestly and truly, my thing is being able to catch fish on what I'm making. Not the main thing. The main thing is being able to see folks go out there and use your baits and catch fish, whether it be families or buddies or whatever the case may be. You know, that's the biggest thing.
It's an amazing feeling, isn't it?
Oh, without a doubt. Listen, the first time I wish I still had it. Unfortunately, I don't. I've lost it since then. But the first one I tied that I caught a fish on, I actually had it set aside. You know what I mean? I quit using it. I just went and tied a bunch more of them. And that one I actually put up, and I can't remember where it's at. So, anyways.
You hit it so good, you can't find it.
I can't, without a doubt. I have no idea. It's somewhere in all of that jig tying stuff down there in that shop. So, one day it'll show up. So,
yeah.
But I still remember what colors it was. It was chartreuse and black. So,
good colors.
Good colors, without a doubt. Good colors.
Good
So
colors for sure. So is it just you? Does well let me ask you this. Are we a single guy? Do we got the wife, the kids, the whole family? How are
we
you living?
we do have. I am married. I have a wife, and actually, she has three boys. I have three stepsons.
Uh-huh.
I have a son and daughter of my own, and
Okay.
I have two grandkids and one on the way. So,
Oh wow.
so,
So
we get to make a whole bunch of baits. So,
are any of them into or finding interest in the hobby that you have?
not yet, not
Okay.
yet.
Okay.
That I have. Her oldest son has shown a little bit of interest. Now he's done got into. He's a bass kid. You know. I can't listen. I can't hold it against him, no matter how bad I want to. I hate. I was like, really? I was like, and I carried him Sunday morning, and anyways, we went for a little while for like a couple hours, and I got him on some crappie, and I was like, ain't this a whole lot more fun than going and catching them ditch pickles? And he was just like, you can see his wheels turning a little bit, you know. And I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, if I can convert him, I've done my job. So.
Trying to pull this bass guy over to the crappie side.
I got to. I can't help it. I can't
Yeah.
help it. There's just, you know, I always joke with my bass buddies all the time. And I was like, you know, the good Lord made crappie fishing and crappie fishermen. I said, and then you got the bass guys for the ones that can't catch crappie. So
Oh, you're hurting me. Oh. I am the complete opposite. So I am a bass fisherman who's always trying to pull everybody over to the bass fishing side. But
right.
you're hurting
And
me
it's-
right in my heart.
No, that's not my intention. Listen, I joke around with it. I joke around with everybody. I tell everybody, just go and fish for something. Just go out and do something, whatever you do,
Yeah.
and enjoy it. You know what I mean? Don't take it serious, because if you do, you're going to stay mad all the time, and you're going to stop. You're not going to continue it. You know. So anyway, yeah, just get out and do something. So.
What about the slayers? He's talking about the walleye. What about the walleye? What about?
Listen, I wish we had them. I wish we had them here, because I'm telling you, I would not even fish for crappie if we had them here.
Yeah.
Honestly and truly. The first time I eat walleye, I was like, I'll never touch a crappie again. If I could get walleye like we have crappie here, I would never touch another crappie. Honestly and truly.
You want to talk about disappointing the walleye guys, and it's the fact that I fish right here on Lake Erie and I throw them all back. I don't keep them. I throw them right back in the water.
That
I
is
think I
crazy.
wrote Lauren's name on one of them before I threw it back. Maybe someday he'll catch it. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, there you go. That's
but
that's awesome.
Not only that, but somehow my neighbor always comes up into this because he's such a walleye perch guy. And when he sees me pull my boat back in the drive, he always wanders over here. He's about, I think he's 83 years old. He still fishes for walleye and perch. He goes out a couple times a week. And when he sees me pull in, he's like, "Well, did you throw my fish back again?"
Yeah, that's
Yes,
right.
I did.
I'm saving them for you for when you get to go. There
I'm
you
just
go.
trying to help out the population.
That's exactly right. That's right, without a doubt. But no, I'm trying to get. I would love for them to show a little more interest, and like I said, he's in his teen. He's just now getting into his teen years, and we all know what that's like. So, he is not worried about making fishing baits. He's worried about football and eating, and then maybe girls. The eating and the football are the two top priorities right now. So
yeah, and that's understandable at that age. And I think a lot of young kids, and not all, may look at this as like an older generation type of hobby. You know, I've had many hobbies over the years. Fishing has always been my number one hobby. But I got into bow hunting for a while, and I got into RC cars for a while, and different types of things through the years. But this one right here has a big hold on me, and I don't think I knew it existed. I don't think I knew people really did this. And when I was younger and I heard about fly tying and stuff, I always kind of pictured, and I mean this in the nicest way, you know, the Bass Pro Shops, when you walk into their fly tying area, I almost picture like the old man with the bifocal glasses just sitting there doing these little flies, and it didn't interest me. It didn't interest me to do the flies. Now I'm interested in the painting and the aspect of the artwork of it. You know, what we do as airbrushers, it's artwork, but what you guys do as tiers, whether it's flies or bass jigs or whatever it is that you tie, that's artwork. Yeah. I've seen some amazing things come out of those vices, and I'm like, how do you do it? You know, it's either it's so tiny or it's so in depth. I've seen some guys that tie multiple things together to make it look like a mouse or a dragonfly, stuff like that.
Yep. And if I don't know if you guys, and I'm not trying to plug anybody or anything like that, but
you like plug who you want.
Listen, I came across this girl. It's been several months ago now, but anyway, you guys, everybody's probably seen her on TikTok and YouTube and all that. I don't know if we can say all that or anyway, but all those platforms, man. She Ties Flies is her name. If you guys, if anybody has ever seen anything that she has done, you're just like, screw it. I'm never tying nothing else. There is no way I can top this. I mean, it is without a doubt. If anybody listening, you're doing yourself an injustice if you do not go. And listen, she's one of thousands. You know what I mean? There is a bunch of them out there. But She Ties Flies is absolutely one of the best tie flyers, and I don't even think that she sells them. I think she just ties them just to tie them. You know what I mean? I don't even think she sells or anything like that. And it blew my mind the first time I seen some of her videos. I was just like, I said, I never realized. I was like, there's no way somebody can make something like this. You know, I mean, and then there it is. You know, it blows my mind. It really does.
You see some of the comments down there. You know, Walleye Guy says she's amazing. Northwater says she's good. I wrote the name down. I'll go check it out.
Don't do that unless you have a bunch of time, because you're going to watch every one of her videos. I'm telling you, it's amazing.
I got all kinds of time for that stuff.
There you go. but yeah, just doing stuff like that. I want to get into the fly tying part of it a little bit. Not a lot. I want to say I've done it for the most part, because I will do like some small like brim bugs and stuff like that. You know, nothing too extravagant. You know what I mean? Just throw a little bit of foam here and there, some goose bites, and I'm good to go. You know, I can go have fun with a fly rod chasing them bluegill and red ear. So
yeah.
But anyways.
So why don't you let some of the viewers know who may not know you, what specific types of tying do you do?
Oh, wow. Got the tiara going on and the cowboy hat. Heck yeah. Appreciate you guys. Honestly, most of the stuff I do, I mainly do crappie jigs. Every so often I will dabble off into some bass jigs for some folks and stuff like that, but that's Firefly. You gotta excuse him. He's special. So, not trying to pick on nobody, but he did ride the short bus. He can't help it. So, but no, mainly crappie jigs. I do a lot of stuff with hair. I tie a lot with kip tail. I do a lot with hackle. I do marabou, different chenilles, you know, new age, crystal, all that good stuff. But I started out as a crappie guy, and I always told myself I wanted to stay as a crappie guy for the most part. Because like I said, it's what I cut my teeth on. That's my dad growing up. That's what we fished for. You know, I mean, every so often we would go to a farm pond or something like that and bass fish a little bit. And for the most part, every time we hooked the boat up, we was going crappie fishing. So, and like I said, that's what we cut our teeth on. And it's been bred into me, the whole crappie thing. And man, I love it. It's a challenge without a doubt. There's days that it's challenging. Everybody knows it's fishing and not catching.
Right.
But I really pride myself on going out there and at least coming home with a mess of fish.
Yeah.
So But no,
I grew up doing all types of different fishing, and I've done the crappie fishing, the bluegill fishing, trout, um, all these different types, and my heart just settled into the bass fishing. And no, I had a guy just the other weekend try and pull me away from it. He was fishing on the boat, and he said, You ever fish for crappie? I brought some crappie jigs. I said, you can try and catch them on the way by, that's for sure, but we ain't stopping.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, I always tell everybody whenever we get in the boat, like my stepson, the oldest stepson there, I told him the other day, I said, we're not taking any of your bass rods when we go, so don't even think about putting them in the boat, because all we got in here, I got a buddy calls them fairy ones, talking about the spinning reels and spinning rods. He calls them fairy ones. He's like, we'll take some of them, and then we'll take our long poles, and that's what we go use. So
the fairy ones. Huh? All right. I'm gonna need his name and number. No. Oh, that's great though. I mean, it's great that you've got some of the kids that like to get out in the boat with you and stuff. I tried to do that with my son. It's my stepson, but I tried to get him into it a little bit when he was younger, and it just wasn't his thing.
Yeah.
He's into computers and stuff like that, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. He still has a fishing pole out there that is so covered in dust, and it's been that way since it was brand new. If you wipe the dust off that thing, it's going to sparkle.
Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with that. And that's the thing. You never can pretty much. You can't don't ever force anything on any of them. You know what I mean? There's been so many times where you see that happen, and you're just like. You just want to reach over there, but then you're just like, no, it's not my place. Let me sit back. You know what I mean?
Correct.
They'll figure it out. You know what I mean? And you got to let them come into their own, honestly and truly. Even though it does drive us nuts, because we're just like, just go fishing. You know what I mean? Just get in the boat. Let's go. We're gonna have fun. But you can't do that.
Well, we see it as that fun, that hobby, that peace of mind, that getaway from the hustle and the bustle, and when you finally feel that tug on the end of the line, you sure as heck aren't thinking about work or anything else.
Yep.
That may not be the case for them. They see it, and I've seen it before, they see it as misery.
Yeah.
We gotta go sit in this boat in the hot for 4 hours. I need something to drink. There's no bathroom. I can't stand it.
Yep.
So it's just a difference of opinion, and I agree with you. That's not something you can force on them, because if you don't love it, it will probably feel miserable. I've had my days out there, and as I'm sure you have, where you couldn't get a bite if you bought it, and it's hot. And you're hungry.
Without a doubt. Especially that 14-year-old, because I'm telling you, we went out the other day, and I told him, I said, you better grab you something to drink. I said, because now, even though we're not going to be out here long, I said, we're going to be out here long enough, you're going to wish you had something. So anyways, he's like, no, I'll be fine. So once we got back to the boat ramp, and he got in the truck, and right before we got to the boat ramp, we always keep a little soft-sided cooler in there, that's always got a couple of drinks left over from the trip before, Yeah. So it had some water and stuff in it. And anyway, I looked at him, I said, please tell me you're not fixing to drink one of them Cokes out of there. And he was like, yes, I am. He's like, it's really not that hot. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, yeah, when you get that first swig out of there and it swells that mouth shut because all that acid, you're gonna wish you hadn't have done that. And he did. He puckered up like he done got a lemon. So that was great.
He just needed something bad.
That's right. He was needing something bad. And I told him, I said, you can have some of this water out of this cup over here, because it's still pretty cool, and it ain't got ice in it no more, but it's still pretty cool. It's like, oh, I'm good. Of course, I'm not drinking after you. I was like, fine, whatever.
Man, if we're in the boat and I ran out of something to drink, I don't care. I'm drinking it.
Yeah, hey, we can buy some mouthwash if we need to.
That's right. You can hold that bottle up here and just pour it in your mouth.
That's right, without a doubt. So, and it's the same way with hunting. I mean, when I carried him hunting, I won't never forget. It was about the second or third time I carried him hunting with me. He was, he's like, "Are we gonna see anything?" And I'm like, son, I have no idea. I said, that's a coin toss. I said, chances are we will. I said, but nobody knows. I said, once we get out there, I said, I'll kind of know more about it once we get in the stand and all that good stuff, And he was like, well, if we're not going to see anything, I don't want to go. I said, well, all I can tell you is to stay here then. I said, because I'm not going to get out there. I said, because when we get there, we're not coming home. We're going to stay till it gets dark.
Yeah, yeah.
So he was like, okay, well, I'll stay here. So then I ended up taking one that evening, and he was like, I should have went. I'm like, yeah, you should have went. So now, if that truck cranks during hunting season to go hunting, he's in the truck with me.
He's ready to go.
Yeah, he's ready to go.
Let's face it, that's up to nature if you're going to see one. Because whatever it is that you're hunting for has to have a bad day for you to have a good day. And that's completely up to nature. And it's kind of like fishing. You can use all the stuff to make to make your options or your opportunity better, but in the end, they have to have a bad day for you to have a good day. So
that's exactly right.
So when it comes to tying, what vise do you like to use?
I have used a couple of different ones. I started out with just a regular clamp-on vise, just an old cheap Bass Pro. Kind of like the whitewater kit that you get from Bass Pro Shops, and then and then once I graduated to a Peak, man, I don't know that I'll ever look back. The Peak is just all around. That is just for a jig tire. That is an all around vise that you can use, and you can buy the saltwater jaws for it for if you want to get into your bigger bass jigs like your 3/4, your half ounce, your quarter, any of those. You can buy that saltwater jaw for it, and it's an all-around vise for like $200, man. You're not going to break the bank, And I tell everybody, whatever you do, some of these tools that we use for this, you can start out cheap, but if you see that you're enjoying it, go ahead and spend a little bit of money, especially on your vise and especially on your bobbins and your things like that. Go ahead and spend that money, because it really does make a difference. When you sit down and you start tying some of these bobbins, some of your cheaper bobbins, yes, they'll get the job done, but at the end of the day, when you have a really good bobbin compared to a $2 bobbin, it's daylight and dark. And it's the same way with vices. Without a doubt, if you see that you're going to enjoy it, go ahead and spend the $200 or $230 and go get you either a right bobbin or a Stonfo. I love Stonfo. I've got a couple of Stonfo bobbins that I love. And again, it makes all the difference in the world. Okay. So if you see that you're going to like it, yeah, go ahead, because that Peak rotary vise, in my opinion, is one of the best all-around vices that you're pretty much gonna use. And that's your main tool. Without it, I mean, yeah, you can go and use your vise that you put stuff in to pry on and all that kind of stuff to your regular table vices. I've seen people use them before, to tie jigs with.
Or vice grips.
Yeah, or vice grips. That's right. So I've seen that before too. So
I did. I just seen it the other day, and I'll tell you what, she was making it work.
Without a doubt,
making it work.
Yep. But no, honestly and truly, Peak to me is the all-around vice that I'm not going to break the bank, and it gets the job done. I've had that Peak that I'm using now for probably 7-8 years now.
Yeah.
And oh God, I wished I'd have had it when I started.
Well, I'm definitely taking notes mentally.
There you go.
Definitely taking notes.
And I'll tell you this: if you have any questions, I tell everybody this every time I get in and I do a live. I tell everybody, shoot me a message. If you have a question about something, shoot me a message. I will sit there and help anybody with anything if I have knowledge about it, I'll help you out with it. So if you have questions or forget something, shoot me a message.
There you go.
I'll help you out. So
you may hear from me. From me.
Hey, just shoot me a message. I'll answer you. I promise. So
I appreciate it. I'm going to take a statement from Pretty Lures here. It says, our Peak Vise comes with a starter kit, to start tying your flies and jigs. Guys, when I say Pretty Lures has a lot of stuff, you have to get over there and check it out. Whether you're thinking about getting into the tying, the airbrushing, they're always coming out with more and more stuff. If it has to do with bait making, they're trying to get to it. If they do not have it, they can definitely point you in the right direction. You can ask them questions at any time. The customer service is spectacular. Speaking of Pretty Lures, we're going to start off with some of the code for tonight. And the first letter of the code is going to be the letter P. The letter P.
Everybody pay attention. Everybody pay attention.
You're going to want to pay attention to this one. This one is a little bit different giveaway from them. I just spoke with them. I'll be honest with you, I was on the phone with them until about 5 minutes before this thing started. I said, guys, I hate to, but I got to let you go. I got to get this thing going. But they decided to change it up a little bit and give you a little something new. So we're going to get into that. But the first letter of the code is the letter P. And so in your opinion, if someone like me who says, hey, I just want to tie some nice, simple little stuff, what do you think a good round number might be to get into tying for yourself? If you're just going to go with the kind of clamp-on style vise, some thread, some glue, and we're going to get into more of how you do your jigs, but
that's fine. I'll be honest with you. I don't see why anybody can't go and spend $75 and be able to get into this, what we're doing as far as tying jigs. Honestly, it really is inexpensive. I mean, and you don't even have to go as far as the kits. Like I said, Pretty Lures, I didn't know that they had the kit. I knew they had devices. I didn't know that they were doing kits now. So that's awesome. But you can go and get a kit from either Bass Pro, Pretty Lures, wherever you want to, and however much you want to spend. But I always tell everybody, start out small because you don't know if you're going to like it or not. You know what I mean? And you may start and get frustrated and then put it down and then turn around and pick it back up later. But yet you want to be able to have something decent to come back to so that you're not frustrated and all that kind of stuff. So I would say $75. You can get started with a kit. You can get a couple of either couple of bags of Marabou or something like that, or some hackle or kip tail. Honestly, you can buy one kip tail for like $7, $6-7, and you can tie 100 jigs out of that thing almost. I mean, it's a bunch. Depending on how much hair you use, you could almost tie 100 jigs out of it. So I would say $75 and get you one bag of Marabou, one bag of feathers, a kip tail, some thread, and you'll already have your bobbins in there. And if you buy a kit, so I mean, it's too easy, you know. And that way, and take your time with it. Don't get frustrated. Take your time with it. Watch a lot of videos. Come on, watch a lot of us that tie live. Ask us questions. We don't mind showing. I mean, there's been times where I've given demonstrations during the live, you know. I mean, I don't have a problem with that, you know. I mean, because at the time when I started, I didn't see a lot of this stuff, you know what I mean, on the internet or anything like that. Now, I'm sure it was around. You just didn't see a lot of it, you know. And then I don't know what the heck happened. It's just like the last 10 years, it's just like everybody's tying jigs. Everybody's tying bass jigs. Everybody's tying baits, flies, whatever. And I'm like, God, where'd these folks come from, man? I'm like, and honestly, I think COVID had a lot to do with it, possibly. Honestly and truly, I really feel that way because that was about the time that all this started. So, but no, $75, Corey. I $75 at the most, man. Maybe 50. I believe you could sit there and get into a decent, a couple of materials, and then you'll know the first couple times you do it. But I can tell you, when you go and catch a fish on it, you're done. You're fixing to go spend 10 grand, and that's just all there is to it. So.
Well, I can't quite afford that. But
well, you won't do it at one time, but over time you will, I promise. So
I couldn't tell you how much I already got in airbrushing right now. But It's like anything else. If you find you enjoy it, you're willing to spend your hard earned money on it,
Yep. Yep.
because it brings you joy, happiness.
Yep.
It's also part of a hobby you started when you were a kid. At least I did, and you say you did, and that's fishing.
Yep.
You know, when it's part of the fishing world, plus you get to be part of a fishing lure making community like this one here. Man, it can take up a lot of your time and bring a lot of joy into what you do.
Right.
For years, people tied at their house for themselves, for their buddies, and we didn't have any platforms like this. And if you did, it was very few and far between. You were reading in the back of magazines and stuff like that, maybe little stories and stuff. Now we're able to get on live and tie and airbrush with people from all over the US. We're able to do interviews like this and let people get to know some of these bait makers a lot better. And for me, that's what it's all about. It's about, you know, putting the spotlight on one bait maker, getting out some of the information that maybe somebody doesn't know. There's people in this chat right now who are maybe thinking about tying, and by you saying, hey, there's no reason that you couldn't get into it for this amount, but eventually, you know, you're going to gain and get better bobbins, better vices, and learn how to do more stuff. That may be the push they needed just to go ahead and get into it. You know,
That's right.
That's one thing about this community. It keeps getting bigger, and we just keep wanting it to grow. We just keep giving the information and help. And
that's right. Well, and the thing, and one good thing about it is too, like, you know, like I tell everybody, you know, and hopefully it'll encourage somebody, because I'm sure that there's a lot of people that, because you wouldn't think it by the way I'm interacting right now, and then sometimes the way I interact in my lives. You know, I mean, I cannot speak in public. I can't do it. I will. Okay. I'll stutter my rear end off like nobody's business. I'll be like, and I can't get the shit to come out. You know. But now, like with this, I can sit here and do this all day long. So, and I tell everybody, maybe this will get somebody out of that shell of like, well, maybe I can ask somebody a question that they didn't want to ask a question to because they was worried about being, you know, somebody like, no, I'm not telling you this or whatever. You got to figure it out. That's not who a lot of us are. There is a lot of us on here that we do not mind helping. So if there is anybody that has question about sitting here getting into this hobby or this craft, please reach out to any of us, and I promise you, reach out to me, and if you say so-and-so, you ask so-and-so a question and they wasn't willing to help you, now I'm going to find out, because I'm going to go to them and be like, hey, what the heck, man? You know, like, it don't cost you anything to offer up some help to somebody that's wanting to get into this. You know what I mean? It's free. You know what I mean? All you had to do is just give a little bit of knowledge, you know, and help them get started. Because at the end of the day, if we're not showing anybody this stuff, guess where it's going? It's not going to go anywhere. Yeah. It's going to die with every one of us whenever we get done on this earth, whatever that time may be. So I love showing people how to do this stuff. So, but like I said, if anybody is on the fence about wanting to do this, send me a message. I do not mind helping out whatsoever. Now, if I get a whole bunch of messages, it may take me a day or two. So just don't be mad. So, because we do get up and go to work every morning. So
that's right. This is a lifestyle. It isn't our entire life. That's for sure.
That's it.
And sometimes that's the push people need. There could be somebody, you know, down in this chat right now, out of the 44 people that we have in here who hasn't made a comment, one, and it may be because they're shy, and I'm telling you now, don't be shy. That's what this platform is all about. Get up here, make a comment, send a message. You'll be glad you did. I remember the first time I got on here on TikTok, and I would just sit and watch. And the first time I finally made a comment, they answered me. And as soon as I got that answer, I typed again, you know, and it just starts becoming a natural thing. And I know I've had a lot of people right here on the podcast who wouldn't necessarily get up in boxes. They were kind of camera shy and stuff like that. They're not so much anymore. It's kind of like once you get over that first hurdle and just get into it, you really start to enjoy it. So,
right. Well, if you'll go back and look, I'll say something real quick. Go back and look at the messages there. It says at Crappie Carnivore says 007 University. There's a joke between me and him. He called me up one day or messaged me, and anyway, I sent him my number. He had a bunch of questions on tying jigs, anyway, and he's a good guy. So anybody that's not following him, we have a group that we all pretty much back and forth with each other, just like I'm sure Corey's got guys that there's a group there that they have their folks and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, he's like, man, I really want to know how to do this. I want to know how you're doing this, blah, blah, blah. And anyway, we talked for a little while. Anyway, I said, come to Mississippi. I said, hell, just come on to Mississippi. We'll sit down. I'll show you what I do, all that kind of stuff, Yeah. Anyway, damn if he didn't show up. I was like, okay, so hell, we went on a fishing trip for a couple of days. We tied jigs. I showed him how to do this and that, so now I don't offer that to just anybody. So let me say that. All right. So don't think you just go get to come to 007 Jigs house, because that ain't happening. So
you'll be hearing this.
But because here we are, we were always told, don't talk to strangers on the internet, and look at what we're doing. We're talking to strangers on the internet. So.
I know it. I'm gonna jump back in a comment. S&J Customs Custom Lures says, I remember the first time Corey auctioneered. Nervous. Yeah, I used to be the auctioneer for some of these auctions, and I kind of got away from it just because I wasn't as big a fan of it as I thought I was gonna be. I love to talk to people. I love to do this right here. But the auctioneering got very monotonous for me after 3 or 4 hours, twice a week. And the first time I did it, it was basically as a joke. Like, yeah, I'll do the auctioneering. And everybody kind of liked the tone of my voice and the way I was doing it. But the first one was very, very scary. I was not that great at it. It's hard to know the names of all these baits. And if some of these guys that are auctioning come up and say, oh, hey, I have this bait, I can't quite remember the name, and then there's a pause, they're waiting for somebody to tell them the name of the bait so they can go ahead and carry on. And it's like, I have no idea. I just started painting 6 months ago. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I can see where that would be. That would probably get to me too, especially because if I don't know what something is, I'm just sitting here. I'm not going to say anything. You know what I mean? That's just the way I am. So hopefully somebody would jump in and be like, yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's that. So, but anyways, but no.
That radio voice. I appreciate it.
Well, there you go. You got the radio voice and you love orange. That's all that matters.
That's all you need. Radio voice, love the color orange. That's it.
Well, remind later on in the show or whatever. I'll tell you another story real quick whenever we get time. So go ahead.
Okay.
I'll shut up for a second.
Well, I have some questions, and it does pertain to your jig tying itself, and that's going to be, you're using a certain kind of thread, you're using all different materials, but then I always see you with that bottle with that long metal nozzle on it. Now, are we doing, first off, if you don't mind, what kind of thread are you using? And then second, what is in the bottle for glue? Is that a glue?
I'll tell you the thread. I'm not telling you the bottle.
Okay.
No,
fair enough.
No, listen, everybody that knows me knows I'm not worried about any of that. On the thread, I always use a 210 flat wax nylon is what I always use.
Okay.
Me personally, for crappie jigs, I always use 210. Now, with fly tying, everybody goes all the way from like I know of a 40 and a 70 and a 60 denier and all that kind of stuff. I always use 210 flat waxed, and it's either going to be a Danvers or a UTC. Ultra thread, UTC, I have kind of switched over from Danvers just for the simple fact that the UTC, for whatever reason, seems like it is a lot stouter than what that Danvers is. And like I said, that's that 210 right there, that everybody, that is exactly what I use. So, and I don't know if that's blurry or I don't know if you guys can see it, but that's UTC, just a UTC 210 flat wax nylon. That's all I use for all of my jigs. Even whenever I'm doing some of the stuff for my bass buddies, when I do stuff for them, this is what I'm using. When I tie skirts on for them, that's what I use. The bottle is just regular fly head cement, just a water-based fly head cement. That's what that is, and what that does, that nozzle with the metal nozzle on it, it just gives you a little more precise area so that you don't get it all over your chenille or anything like that, because normally you want to put it just right here behind the head whenever you do your whip finish for your knot, for your finishing knot.
Yeah.
Do you have to have it? You don't. A lot of people are particular about it. If I'm doing jigs just for myself, I won't use it. But now if I send them out, if I'm doing an order, I will put just a touch of glue on there just to kind of hold everything together a little bit longer than what it normally would. So
I think I would. That may be something that I do. And then I've also seen, and I think this may be particular to bass jigs, and I don't believe you tie those at all, or do you once in a while for somebody if they ask?
If somebody asks me, I will, but I don't normally do that. That's strictly going to be for my buddies here that fish tournaments and stuff like that. I will do some stuff for them, or if they've got something, hey man, can you redo this skirt for me on this particular jig head? I'm like, sure,
because what I seen was guys were not only using the thread and then putting the drop of glue around it, but they were putting wire around that thread afterwards. And I'm thinking that's more of a protective type thing of the thread itself. I'm not 100%.
Well, it is, and then depending on what they're, and I think some of that depends on what they're actually fishing for too. Honestly and truly, most of our bass guys don't use the wire. They, you know what I mean. It's just thread. That's all that they use or they want. I have not had anybody actually request the thread or the wire as well. So, but yeah, some use just wire. But
that's what I see.
For the most part, it's just going to be the thread. Yeah. So,
good stuff, man.
No, I do not, and don't listen to Crappie Carnivore. I do not like treble hooks.
I've seen a few comments down there. Ask him about this. Ask him about that. You know what? We're going to go back to a couple of them. We might get a great story out of this. Ask him about. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, this could be dangerous.
Come on. They asked me to talk about someone specific. There it is. No, ask him about Sally Henson's. I have no idea. This could be good, bad, or ugly, but the question has been asked now.
Now, you're going to get, whoever you ask, you're going to probably get different answers, okay? But now, I have, as long as I've done this, I used to use just whatever Sally Henson's it was on sale. You know what I mean? And that's what I use whenever I lay my thread base down on the shank of the hook. When I first start tying, I lay my thread base down. I'll normally go ahead and tie some stuff in, and then sometimes I will put a dab of Sally Henson's on the thread, and then I'll start tying material in. Sometimes I'll wait until I get my chenille on, and then I'll put a dab of Sally Henson's on there. But it has to be, in my opinion, and opinions are like rear ends. Everybody's got one.
Yes, sir.
If it is not this bottle, I do not use it. I don't know why, but for some reason, I feel like this bottle is better than the regular fingernail polish bottle, the smaller ones and the wider. This round bottle, in my opinion, it has to be this bottle. Otherwise, it does not cure as well as what this round bottle does. I don't know why. Right here, it may not be nothing, but right here, it makes a difference. So
they are laughing away saying, we know. I missed my puzzle piece.
Yeah, my wife will, she gets tickled at me every time we go to the DG. I grab like 5 or 6 bottles Because most of the time you can go in there and they won't have it in there, and I'm not going to Wally World to get it. So
somebody said, hold on, I'm not going to say somebody. Jess.
That's my wife.
Okay, she said he planned on talking about it because he brought it with him.
Well, no, that's part of our tools that I use, and she knows how I am. I'm going to tell everybody exactly what I use just because I don't listen. It's not a secret. Everybody has certain things that they use, and that's fine. But with me, everybody's doing this. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, you know what I mean? If I'm using a damn fingernail polish, I'm using a fingernail polish. It's just what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Outdoors with Tiny. I'm going to start gluing my eyes on with that.
Hey, that's what I use. There you go. You heard it right here. That's what I use. I will use a small dab of that, and then I'll use this right here. I'll put a coat of that over the whole head, covering the eyes, and then I'll cure it, and that's what I use. So there it is. Didn't have to ask a question on that one. I volunteered it. So.
Well, we definitely have more questions for you. I'm going to take just a second and say Outdoors with Tiny runs a podcast, and it's called Real Talk with Tiny. If you have not checked it out, make sure and get over there and check out his podcast. Me and him bounce ideas. He just mentioned me and how we bounce ideas the other night in his podcast. And Tiny is a great guy. His interviews are so funny sometimes, other times serious, but he does the fishing aspect. So Real Talk with Tiny talks a lot about fishing. Over here, we talk a lot about the bait making. We still talk fishing. But I started talking to him quite a while ago now, and I talk to him quite often, and we bounce ideas off of each other, and we take little things from each other's podcasts and kind of put them in with ours. But what a great guy, and if you haven't checked it out, go over there and check it out. Also, Pretty Lures. Make sure have you checked out Tiny's?
I've seen it. I have not had time to really just sit down and watch. Because most of the time when I get done in the evenings, man, I'm in the shop, and if I'm watching this phone, I'm not doing what I need to be doing. So.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, but I will definitely check him out for sure. Because anything hunting and fishing, I'm all about it. That's just the way I am. So
yeah. Also check out Pretty Lures. Don't forget about them. Get over and check out prettylures.com for all your bait making needs. Speaking of Pretty Lures, we're going to give you another letter to the code you're going to need for their giveaway at the end. And your next letter is going to be the letter L. The letter L. Did I just see J.M. Jigs? What's up, brother? I haven't seen him on here in forever. Had to give him a shout out. So, do you pour your own heads and things like that? So you do it from base all the way up,
start to finish, man. When I started this years ago, let's just say that. I had a buddy of mine that pretty much was like, hey, you know, if you want to cut some costs, and which everybody wants to cut costs as much as they can, you know. With the expense of hooks nowadays and lead the way it is, he told me, he said, you might as well do everything. You know what I mean? So he got me started as far as showed me what the ins and outs of pouring lead and all that kind of stuff, man. And honestly, I took off and run with it, honestly and truly. I mean, because at the end of the day, I enjoyed every bit of it. Every aspect of it, I enjoyed it. So that's, yes, I start from bare hook to finished product. So
good.
That way I don't have to worry about going and spending a bunch of money on buying jig heads and then somebody painting them and putting eyes on them. Yeah, I'm one of them. If I can do it, I'm gonna save that money and I'm gonna do it myself. Now there's some things I will pay for convenience, but if I can do it, I'm gonna do it myself. That's just how I am. So,
but now when it comes to pouring lead, that is a very well ventilated, maybe outdoors type thing. That's not something you want to be doing in your house. That stuff is,
Correct.
there is still a toxicity to it. I know there's not a lot of pure lead left out there, and correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong in even making that statement, but from what my understanding is that it's very hard to find pure lead straight from the get-go.
Yes, I mean a lot of that stuff has been weeded out through the years. Now, for granted, like you said, you still don't want to just sit there and be closed in a room with no ventilation. You do not want to do that. As a matter of fact, niece's I can't remember his first name.
Cody Niece.
Maybe he does jigs and all that.
Yeah,
You know,
this
if
is outdoors.
Niece is outdoors. That's it. He actually this past several months ago went to the hospital for lead poisoning because of that. He was in a room with not enough ventilation. So
I did not know that.
that's right. So there's still a toxicity to it that you don't want to take. Listen, it's cheap. Go leave your doors open, get you a fan, blow it out the other end of the room, or have it sitting there next to you so that it's sucking those fumes. For the most part, I've never had any issues. I've been doing this for 17 years. Whether it be I've been lucky or whatever, but I try to keep a well ventilated area. The shop down here where I do all that in has got an exhaust fan in it. I leave doors open. I leave fans running, extra fans running all the time.
Yep.
I haven't had any issues. And for granted now, I don't take it up to the point to where it starts smoking or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's really, really hot.
Yeah.
Now, I'm normally going to be around 800 degrees whenever I'm melting, and I'm consistent at 800. I actually just recently used to use old Lee pots. I finally got rid of that dripping son of a gun because anybody that's ever used a Lee pot knows that it's going to drip everywhere. So I recently upgraded to a Lyman 25, Mag 25, and I'm going to be honest with you. Anybody that pours lead, do yourself a favor, save you some money, and go and buy one. You will not look back. I promise. It is one of the best purchases that I've ever had. So, but no, definitely make sure you're in a well ventilated area, no matter what. So, and try to stay away from wheel weights. Don't use wheel weights, whatever y'all do. Yeah, I mean you can save you a lot of heartache, honestly, by just trying to find somebody that has some lead. You know, and get with your local plumbers or get with your scrap yard or whatever if you've got one. 9 times out of 10, they're going to have some lead there. You know what I mean? But just stay away from wheel weights. It's not worth the trouble. It really ain't. It's more messy than it is anything. You spend more time fluxing and cleaning by the time if you fool with the wheel weights. If you've got a good supplier or whatever, just use that. So without a doubt,
places too. Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say the stained glass folks use a lot of lead as far as weighting stuff down and things like that for those windows and stuff. So
yeah.
But yeah.
Good information.
Don't do it in flip flops either. Whatever you do.
I've seen that come up down there. I also seen David from Pretty Lures. He put in there. It can also get in your clothes. The lead can. That stuff. Look, it's not something to play with. Make sure you're doing your research before you even start trying to pour. Right. Some of the stuff that we do is. You need to have your PPE. That's right. You need to have your PPE. You know, you need to have good ventilated areas and stuff like that. We do the airbrushing a lot, and everybody goes, well, it's acrylic and it's water-based paint. That doesn't matter. You don't want to be breathing that stuff in the whole time. Look, it's not good for you. It's not good for you. So speaking of airbrushing, we've talked on jigs some. We're going to touch back to the airbrushing. You said that's something that you're thinking about.
It is. Thanks to S&J and Holly and Jeffafad, as she calls him.
Jeff of the.
Thanks to all them folks and Wheels. Now that I've seen Wheels do it, I said, because honestly, I was like, if Wheels can do this, by God, I can do this. You know what I mean? So, but honestly, what I thought about doing, and I don't want to I don't want to talk too much on it just yet, because I want to make sure that it works like I think it's going to. But I really think doing that when it comes to some of these designs that some folks are doing, as far as like some of these head colors and things like that, I really think that we're always looking to step our game. If you're not trying to step your game up or be better than what you was yesterday, why are you even doing it? Don't be content. Go the extra mile sometimes and push yourself to see if you actually can do something.
Yes.
But I can see where, and like I said, I've talked with Jeff and all them guys and Walleye Guy, and they've all been a great source of help without a doubt. And I don't want to swell their heads up too big, but
too late.
But no, too late. Yeah, but honestly, I can see where it would be really beneficial using an airbrush for painting some of this stuff, honestly and truly, because what we're looking at is we're trying to cut down, because time is money for us when you get to a certain point, especially when you get a bunch of orders and all that kind of stuff, time is money. So if we can cut down on spending so much time doing a certain thing, that's what we look at doing. So with that being said, I can see where airbrush would come in really, really handy, and I really feel like you can do a lot of neat stuff with an airbrush, because they have. I'm sure you guys know about the crinkle paints and stuff like that.
Yep.
And like the crinkle powders and that I've tried to use and I have used. It's a pain in the rear end for me. Now, does it make a really awesome jig head? Without a doubt. If you're into that kind of stuff, do you need it? No. But is it cool to look at? Damn right it is.
That's right.
So, and we're all about looking at cool shit. You know what I mean? So it's just what it is. But no, I feel like with the airbrush stuff, man, I really see where it would be beneficial for painting and things like that. So,
well, when it comes to bait making, I think maybe 50-50 isn't the right way to say it, but it kind of is 50-50. Some of it's because it's just cool. Yeah. And the other part of it is it catches fish. Yeah. Just about any bait can catch a fish on the right day, And there's a lot of guys who go very natural. There's a lot of guys who go way out there, as far and as bright as they can get it. Yep. So I guess that's what I mean. Both sides sell just as many baits, because there's a lot of people who buy them just to collect them. There's a lot of people who buy them to fish them. They just want to see if they can catch a fish on that loud, bright orange.
Chartreuse.
Right, exactly. On just that bright, loud bait. So we're always trying to catch fishermen, but we're also trying to catch fish. And you can tell when a bait's been made just to catch a fisherman. Yeah, but without a doubt, it looks cool.
And it's funny that you said that, because I get guys ask me all the time, like, what is the key as far as what's the key to being able to sell baits? And I'm like, well, think about it for a second. Like when you're standing there in Wally World, or you're standing there in a bait store, chances are, which bait are you go buy? Yeah. Well, the one that's the brightest and one that looks better and blah, blah, blah. I said, there you go. I said, so your number one key is to catch the fisherman. Don't worry about the fish. The fish is going to come.
You got to catch that eye.
Yeah, catch the fisherman, and then you don't have to worry about anything else. So I tell everybody that's getting started, like, listen, you can tie a jig that will catch fish, and then you can tie a jig that's going to catch fishermen. It's funny because the first store that I got in, I won't never forget stopping by there, and I was asking them, I was like, all right, I said, which do you prefer, Well, anybody that knows me knows that I hate putting eyeballs on jig heads. I hate it with a passion. And I think anybody that you ask will tell you the same thing. They hate it, So anyway, I asked the guy, I was like, so out of these jigs, which one would you buy? He was like, which one would you buy? I was like, I know which one I'm going to use. I said, I'm going to use these over here that don't have eyeballs on them. I said, it's just a round head with material on it. I said, I'm going to use that before I use that with them eyeballs on it. And he was like, why? I was like, because them eyeballs ain't going to catch fish. I said, you think that fish knows whether somebody's got eyes or not?
All he sees is head, tail, go.
That's it. In action. That's all they notice is what that tail does or what that jig the colors that it gives off, the presentation that it gives off. That's all they're looking at, Yep. So I tell everybody, catch the fisherman. You'll catch fish, but catch the fisherman first if you're wanting to sell jigs. Catch the fisherman first. So
yes, sir.
I tell everybody that.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm seeing a lot of new names down in this chat. Look, if you guys aren't following me and you're new to this chat, make sure and send me a follow. If you guys are not following 007 and this is the first time you're seeing him, make sure and send him a follow. Let's get the follows up. Let's get the groups bigger. Let's get everybody knowing everybody in here.
There you go.
There are so many great bait makers down in the chat as well as sitting right here talking to you now. So make sure and send me a follow. Send 007 a follow. Everybody down in the chat, just start following everybody. You'll get around to some circles and see some bait makers that you didn't even know existed. There's not hundreds, there's thousands and thousands of bait makers out there. I meet new people every day on this thing. And that's one of my favorite things is meeting new people, getting over to their page, checking out their stuff. And if I catch them live, I go in there, I talk with them a little bit. That's what we're here for, right? We're here to meet people, see all the new and crazy things out there, and see what baits catch my eye.
There you go. That's right. Shoot, yeah.
That's what happens to me. It's the color orange. All right, let's talk about the color orange real fast. The color orange is my favorite color. And yes, I have a ton of orange baits. And you know how many orange baits are in my tackle box? Maybe one or two. I don't really fish with them. It's just my favorite color and it catches my eye, so I want them. But I fish a lot of natural colors. The colors that work up here are a lot of those greens, the black and blue, green pumpkin, stuff like that. And the one color that I'm not sure works everywhere, but it works great here is white, just solid white.
Yeah.
And it catches fish. Now, I've heard other people say chartreuse and white. If I throw a chartreuse and white, I never really caught many fish on it. My fish catching lures is, I love a chatterbait. I love to throw a chatterbait, solid white fluke on the back, and it catches fish. It catches a lot of fish. I just put a 4-2 in a tournament on a solid white chatterbait with a solid white fluke.
What color head? White head? White head?
What's that? Yep, white head. Solid all the way through. No eyes. No eyes.
Yeah, no eyes. We can do eyes. We can do eyes on those. Actually, I've got a couple things coming down the pipe that I gotta do some testing and stuff on some stuff. So I'll send you a message and I got some stuff that's supposed to be here hopefully by the weekend, and if it does, I'll get you some stuff sent to you and let you try them out. So
hey, I love it,
and I'll let you test them for me and do all that fun stuff since you're that ditch pickle guy. So
and boom, he punches me again.
No, I really think it's going to do really well. I had a couple of my bass guys around here kind of hit me up on some stuff, and I was like, well, I always told myself I wouldn't do it, but it's going to be a multi-purpose thing. You know what I mean? You're going to be able to do a couple of things with it. So with you being a chatterbait guy, I'll get you fixed up. So
yes, sir. I started fishing it a few years ago and it became one of my biggest confidence baits. And then this year, it was actually a spinner bait. I used to fish a spinner bait when I was a kid. You see all the pros catching them on a spinner bait, and I never did really good with it. And I put it down and I never picked it back up.
Yeah.
And I had a buddy of mine say, look, do me a favor and pick up that spinner bait. And I've caught some good fish on the spinner bait. So, top three, let's do something like this. I'm going to tell you top three confidence baits for me, and you can do the same. And mine is definitely going to be that chatterbait in various colors. It's also going to be a jig, and it's actually the Arky head jig, because you can swim that jig or you can set it on bottom, so I can put different trailers on it and get different types of reactions to it. And then it's going to be a Texas rigged weightless fluke. And I do like the fork tail flukes, but I also like, and I'm going to drop a big box name. KVD has that solid tail, and it's a bulbous tail. And when that thing falls through the water, the way the tail waves around as it falls, it gets a lot of bites. So I have some buddies who do plastics, and they've made me some of those, and I fish them. So those are my top three confidence baits. When I'm not catching fish, one of those three is getting thrown until I can't throw it no more.
Yeah,
so
I got you.
what would it be for you when it comes to crappie?
Well, let me say this real quick. Bait Daddy, he was just like, man, us bass guys can't catch a break tonight. Listen, I'm gonna bust on everybody. That's just the way I am. I'm gonna joke around, guy. Listen, we all cut our teeth bass fishing as kids. I did it for years, tournament fished for years, and of course my shoulders as bad as they are now. All that chunking and winding, I just can't do it no more. So, I had to give it up. So, but no, man, my three would probably be, definitely I'm going to have two different sizes. I'm going to have a 16th and a 32nd ounce jig head. Yep. I'm fixing to get a bunch of crap for this. Probably because of our water here, it's going to have an orange head on it. So
I told you.
I'm never going to live this shit down. I know I'm not. It's going to have an orange head on it. It's going to have a J hook. It is not going to be a sickle hook. It's going to be a 16th, a 32nd, either a round head or a minnow head. And it's going to be either a orange head or a pink head. It'll be one of them two color heads, and then it's either going to be a dubbin body with a kip tail, or it's going to be a chenille body with a kip tail or a wedge tail, one of the two. And it's either going to be a double split wedge tail, or it's going to be just a single. Depending on the year, this time of the year, I normally use a single just because it gives off the minnow profile, that's what they're eating right now. And like I said, it's a pink, white, and chartreuse, orange, brown with a black and chartreuse. Those are going to be my two main colors. And then, of course, we're going to have our days where we're going to have minnows in the boat. That's just all there is to it. You've got to, this time of the year, you pretty much, if you can stop and get minnows, you're doing yourself a favor. Because like I said, without them, you get to the point where we're going around chasing schools this time of the year. You're going to catch 5 or 6 or 8 out of that school, and then they're going to stop. Then you got to go to another school. Whereas if you can sit there and show them something different, or if you can catch, say, 5 or 6 fish and then they shut down, you pitch a minnow over in there, guess what? You're going to catch 5 or 6 or maybe even more than that. You'll get that school fired back up just because of it being live bait. So, and again, Crappie Carnivore said it right there. I don't tell a lot of people, but I'm a real big proponent of 3-color jigs. I don't know what it is. The one of the guys that really showed me tying crappie jigs, he always preached tying a 3-color jig. I don't know why it's stuck in my brain. It was one of those things that I held on to, and I'll show you some examples here in just a little bit, whenever. But like I said, a 3-color jig for whatever reason, I don't know why, I don't know what it is, but a 3-color jig. If you've got a 3-color jig, I don't know what it is. They just seem to love it. So, without a doubt.
Well, we're talking about it. If you want to show them what you're talking about, we can definitely do that.
Oh yeah. Well, this funny story. Well, not a funny story, but a really cool story. I'll say this. This is the one that I'm normally go fish with out here on our waters, and I will never go anywhere without that jig right there. That jig will always have a place in my box, and the name of this jig is the Mickey Reed jig, and that's who showed me the ins and outs of crappie fishing, and as far as tying crappie jigs and stuff like that, and fishing with jigs. That color jig right there. So you guys are seeing something that I don't show a lot of people. All right. That right there is a very special jig to me, honestly and truly. I get chills every time I talk about it just because of the significance of it. That fella right there, it never failed. He called me up one day. He said, "Hey," he said, "we need to come up with a muddy water jig." Hindsight, I realized what he was doing. After he passed, it kind of hit me one day. I was sitting there thinking he was testing me. He called me up one day and said, "Hey, we got to come up with a muddy water jig." Well, he was one of them that he was gonna have a Marlboro Light hanging out of his mouth, and then he's gonna have a Miller Lite sitting over there next to him. It's just the way he was. So, just a hard school crappie guy, you know what I mean? Just an old school crappie fisherman. And anyways, he was testing me, and I didn't realize it at the time. I was just like, okay, I can do this. You know, he said, "We got to come up with a muddy water jig. What colors do you want?" And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, well, I'm looking in his shop. We're sitting in his shop. And anyway, I'm looking around. I'm like, well, hand me a couple of orange heads, and hand me that brown chenille over there, and hand me some black and chartreuse kiptail, you know. Yeah. That's the jig that I come up with. That one right there.
Very cool.
Well, didn't know it at the time again, but he had got pretty bad sick, had heart issues and stuff like that, you know, not from the smoking or the drinking or anything, you know what I mean? So that had nothing to do with it, you know.
No.
Yeah, no. But anyways, come to find out, after the service and everything, and we went back to the house, you know, his wife called me outside and she said, I want you to see something, you know. And I'm like, all right, no worries. So went out there to his boat, and she picked up like 3 of his crappie rods that he had laying there on his deck, and all 3 of them had those jigs tied on it. And she told me, she said, ever since you came up with that jig, said he will not fish with any other jig. Said that for every time he goes, he comes home with fish and never has any issues catching fish on that jig. And I'm like, I've got chills thinking about it, right? I mean, it's just one of those things, man. It's freaking words can't describe it. You know what I mean? It's just a feeling that you can't get over. So that's my Mickey Reed jig. So if you ever hear me say Mickey Reed jig, it's gonna be an orange head, brown chenille body, and then a black and chartreuse tail with gold and silver flash. So gold on one side, silver on the other. So and it's anytime you have dingy or muddy water, you better have that tied on, because if you want to go catch fish, that's what you use. So
that's an amazing story. I really appreciate you sharing that with us.
Yes, sir. And then there's gonna be my other go-to right there. Just a pink head with a white dubbin, or a minnow belly dubbin with a chartreuse kip tail, and then just a little bit of green crystal flash. So those 2 are my 2 of my favorites is those 2 colors right there for our waters here in Mississippi. And you can go the big 4, the big 3 now. We don't have 4 anymore, but we got the big 3. So these colors will work at those 3 lakes over there without a doubt, hands down. I've got these jigs over there. They go and catch fish over there all the time that people use. So those would be my 2 favorite colors right there. So
very cool.
Without a doubt. I don't want to show the rest of these, but I will if you want me to, because this is.
No, we do.
I can't. If you want me to show them, I'll be more than happy to, because somebody's gonna win them.
Oh, it's the rest. And there's the rest of the story.
There's the here's one that I come up with not too long ago. I pulled this one out of my rear end, so to speak, but we actually call this the Wicked Apple. It's actually it's a custom. That's a custom chenille that I had made. Of course, the green eyes. Everybody's been seeing them here lately. That's actually one of my favorite eyes for right now. I try to use it. I use it a bunch, so it goes with a lot. But that's what we call what I call the Wicked Apple. So somebody's gonna win these. Somebody's gonna get some damn good jigs tonight. I'm just gonna tell you. So whoever wins these they're
he wants to see pictures of the fish, is what he's saying. He wants to see pictures.
That would be nice. So, and there's kind of a little citrus shad, so to speak, and that's the wedge tails that I'm talking about using, and I get those from Chad Payton 72 and Crappie Carnivore, Mr. Mike Sloan. So
people are raising their hand. Can I see it again?
So yeah, like I said, and here's my little. This is my Patriot jig. This is what I call my Patriot jig here. So, of course, everybody know we just had the 4th of July not long ago. So there's a little Patriot jig. Got a little silver, red, and blue crystal flash, and then got the firecracker chenille on it with a ruby slipper head. So there's the Patriot jig there. So I'm not going to show anybody the rest of them. I'm going to let it be a surprise. So
he said, "I'm done showing them off."
I'm done showing them off. So that's right. Somebody's going to really, really enjoy these though, for sure. So,
wow.
But no, that Mickey Reed jig, man, those are pretty much my favorite colors. That the orange with the brown, black chartreuse, and then of course the pink, white, and chartreuse. You can't go wrong. Because like I said, the pink, white, and chartreuse will work in clear water, and if the orange, brown, black, and chartreuse will work in muddy water and murky water. But it seems like we have more mud than we have anything. So it is what it is.
It seems that way sometimes, doesn't it? It seems that way.
Been pretty bad because we get these flash floods in the evenings, and it doesn't take but just a minute because, like I said, our water stays stained anyway here. So the least little bit of rain will just go ahead and muddy it right on up. It doesn't take it. And then you got to wait a week for it to clear out, So anybody that can fish in a mud pit, you can fish anywhere.
Yeah. Well, we get it a lot here on Erie. Erie doesn't have clarity at all. I mean, it's put at best. And as soon as we get a little rain, the rivers dump into it and it just turns to mud. Now, that's not the case once you get further out. Once you get further out past the islands toward the Canadian border, it always clears up. You're mixing all of that muddy water with all the clearer water. But here in the bay, which is right outside my door, it gets muddy quick when it rains. But right. We're going to give you guys one more code. He's already talking about some of the things that are going to be in his giveaway. We're going to give you one more letter for this code. This will be the last letter of the code. And it's going to be the letter R. The last letter you need is the letter R.
Ooh, I sure hope somebody's been paying attention. I hope everybody got all three of them.
You didn't write them down?
Oh yeah, I really hope. Here's another. I always do stuff with skirt tabs too. So I didn't know. I brought a whole stand in here just in case. But I do a lot with skirt tabs too. So
I remember you saying something about that.
Yeah, and believe it or not, these things have a lot of action, and believe it or not, these things catch a lot of fish. And they're starting to gain popularity, really, because people are starting to show them. You know what I mean? For the most part, again, with anything, the more you show it, and people see it, and they're like, "Hey, I got to do that," which is fine. You know what I mean? But that right there, that skirt tab, when you sit there and you pull that thing through the water, You know, you guys know, anybody that's new to any of this stuff, as you're pulling that thing through the water, that tail is going to kind of lay down just like with a marabou and stuff like that. And when it stops, that skirt tail, when you stop it in front of that fish, that skirt will just flare out, and they cannot stand it. I mean, it's just, they're just about go hit it every time you stop it in front of them. So, but yeah, these are always a hit too.
And so, you're starting to do more and more of those, you say, right?
Well, I've been doing these for a long time, but I've really just recently started showing them off.
Okay.
That's kind of been one of those secrets where I didn't really let it out of the bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I said, with everything nowadays, every material, there's so many different materials now that people can use for tying this stuff. Used to, all you had was a kip-tail marabou and a hackle, or in whatever, maybe a turkey feather or duck feathers, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now, like I said, you've got silicone. You got your silicone skirt tabs. You got your wedge tails. You can pretty much, if you can think of it, you can tie a crappie jig. Squirrel tails. A squirrel is not safe around here.
Well, I tell you, I hope you get a couple orders for the jig that you were just showing with that silicone skirt on it. I think those would work really well.
Oh, they do. I've been using them for a long time. And like I said, I just recently started showing them things off, man, honestly and truly, because again, they catch fish. So I mean, why would you not show that off? You know what I mean?
Go ahead.
And again, I get all of my skirt tabs. I get all my skirt tabs from Lunker Bites, guys. I'm not saying I'm going to promote what I like and what works best for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's nothing against anybody. I just know that Ken over here at Lunker Bites has taken really good care of 007 jigs. I mean, he sends stuff all the time. And like I said, guys, any of these skirt tabs will work. So like I said, if you've got your place that you want to shop from them. By all means. This is just where I get all of my stuff from. All of my skirt tabs comes from Lunker Bites. So, like I said, really good customer service, and I'm big on customer service too. I haven't spoke about that, but like I said, I know the times I've talked to Pretty Lures with David and is Miss Rosa, Rosa or Rosalie? Rosalie, that's right. Nothing but good things, guys, without a doubt. So, so y'all definitely check all these folks out, man. They will definitely take care of you guys, especially everybody that has questions or is wanting to get into this stuff. Give them a call and ask them. You know what I mean? They'll help you out and get you started. I promise. So,
well, I tell you, man, you're free to shout out whoever you'd like to talk about on the podcast. It's a very open platform. Pretty Lures is a sponsor of the podcast, but that does not mean that you can't shout out some of your favorite places. Maybe somebody who sponsors you and 007 Jigs. That's what this is all about. We like to put the spotlight right on you. And speaking of putting the spotlight on you, where can they go to get some of this stuff from you? Is there just your TikTok? Do you have a website, or do they just message you? Why don't you explain that a little bit?
Yeah. Years ago when I started this venture, I was just like, I'm all about saving money. You know what I mean? As much as I can. My wife will tell you that I'm lying, but I really do try to save money. But I didn't want to have to worry about spending the money on the maintenance of a website and things like that. I just didn't want to do that, Sure. So I do everything through TikTok, Facebook. I have Facebook. I have TikTok. I've 007 Jigs on both platforms. I have a YouTube, but I am the world's worst at trying to put stuff and post content and pictures and all that kind of stuff. I'm the worst at it. But anybody that wants to follow or message me on here, message me on Facebook, however you find me. If you pull up 007 Jigs and you see this bald head or me standing there holding the fish, that's going to be me. Send me a message. So that's how you would get in touch with me. So
I think everybody in here should be following 007 Jigs. That's why we got you on here tonight.
I
to
appreciate
make
it.
sure everybody knew who you were. I've been watching your lives, and I try and get into everybody's stuff a little bit, and getting in and watching your lives and seeing the way you tie and you explain to people and you're answering questions, you're paying attention to the chat. And I think that's what can make a live exciting. You can't answer everybody all the time. You are trying to get something done, and I'm sure you're like quite a few other bait makers, me included, is there's sometimes I don't get on a live when I decide to paint because I need to concentrate and do what I'm doing. But I've seen you on there many times, just, having a good time, listening to music, answering questions, and just enjoying life. And I like to see stuff like that. So,
That's right. And you're right. I mean, there is time. If I have orders and stuff that I need to get done, chances are I'm not going to be live because I will spend all my time trying to explain something. You know what? Because somebody's going to ask a question, and then I'm just going to go way off in damn left field, and I'm going to forget about what I'm doing, and I'm going to start explaining stuff, and then we're going to start talking about whatever we can talk about. You know what I mean? So, that's normally if I have orders or something like that, I'm going to do that, not on TikTok.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to feel like anybody feels like they're being ignored,
That's right.
It's just like I love to watch a live.
Yeah.
But if I enter into the chat or get up in a box while I'm trying to paint and I'm not seeing questions or somebody, shouting out, hey, what's up, Uncle Corey's, or, enjoyed the podcast the other night. And if I don't see those because I'm busy, they might feel ignored, and I don't want anybody to feel that way. So there are times that I just leave TikTok alone and do my painting, and then I'll jump on and get in a live when I have time to talk and pay attention.
That's right. Yep.
So,
yeah, that's a big thing. The interaction is a big thing. Because we all have them. You know what I mean? So there's times where you might be on the live, and it for whatever reason it doesn't matter what you try to talk about, you're just not gonna have any interaction, and then you're just like I was like, okay, well, if somebody has a question, ask it, because I'm gonna sit here and tie, and sometimes it's funny because I've witnessed this. Sometimes you just get a crowd in there, and all they want to do, they don't want you to talk. They want you to just shut up and tie. I've sat there and tied, 30, 40 jigs one night, and hardly 3 words was said. So we listen to music, and I'll sing along as bad as it is. I'll sing along with it sometimes, and we'll just go from there. So.
Well, sometimes that's what people are on there for. It's relaxing for them just to watch you tie. It's that. That's right. It doesn't always have to be about the conversation, but just depends on who you have in there, I guess.
That's it.
Well, what do you say? We'll start getting to some giveaways, and then we'll let them ask some questions. I have quite a few questions that I left out. I'm hoping the chat's going to fill in some of those gaps when we get to the questions. If not, I will have some more for you. But we'll get to the first giveaway. I always do Pretty Lures giveaway first, if that's okay with you. That's how we're going to do it tonight, then.
Yes, sir.
So I told you guys I had something special. I hope you paid attention to what the code was. The way I do this is I already have random numbers chosen. I talked to 007 earlier for his numbers, and I talked to Pretty Lures earlier for their number. For the Pretty Lures giveaway, you have to be able to give the code. They're going to do something a little different this week. You are going to have to wait just a little while for these to actually come in. But Pretty Lures giveaway tonight is going to be 5 of the brand new PL rockers that they are coming out with. These are exclusive to Pretty Lure. They are an original blank. You can only get them at Pretty Lures. And only a handful of people have actually got these and painted them. So if you know, the brand new PL rocker. So it's going to be about 4 weeks. They had a little trouble with the mold. They're redoing the mold and they're getting it back out to them. But that will be what you win in tonight's giveaway. They also wanted me to let you know that the strikers that they came out with just recently will be back in stock by next week. So if you're looking to order the PL Strikers, they should be back in stock next week. And the PL Rockers, it'll be about 4 weeks before they're in, but they are on the way. Without further ado, we had a random number chose, and that number is going to be, it'll disappear, come back, yeah. Number 6. The number is going to be 6. I'm going to go up here into the chat, and I'm going to find if it'll work with me here. So far, not. There we go. Number 6. North Waters tackle.
Oh, here they come. Here
Number
they come.
6. Give me the code. If you can't give me the code, you can't have it.
Well, I hope he was paying attention.
Rigged. He said rigged. That's not the code. I'm sorry, sir. You're out of the game. No, I'm just kidding. Everybody's saying rigged, rigged, rigged.
Oh.
DLR, which stands for the Pretty Lures Rocker. That is definitely the code I gave out. North Waters Tackle is quite the lucky guy. He wins giveaways, and it's not just in here. I have seen him in many other lives, and he is winning the giveaways. I tell him all the time he should play the lottery because there's just people that are lucky like that.
Here's what my daddy-in-law will tell you. It's just that good, clean living. That's what that is.
That's what it is. North Waters. You won that. You can't give any of those to Holly to paint. None of them.
Yeah, he's got to paint every one of them.
You got to paint every one of those.
And they have to be orange.
I know Holly's in the background going, I don't need his. I'll get my own.
Oh. Did you hear what I said, Corey? They got to be orange.
Yes, they do.
Oh.
They do have to be orange. He'll do an orange one. He likes the color orange. I've seen some of his jigs.
That's right. That's right.
So 007 wants to show you guys a few things. Maybe he doesn't want to show them. He may want them all to be a surprise. But he has chose to do a giveaway tonight. We greatly appreciate that. We've got a random number from him already. Is there some you'd like to show, or you just want to go ahead with the giveaway?
Nah, I'll show them. I'll show them off. Because like I said, they're too good not to, honestly and truly. So whoever wins is going to get 18 custom hand-tied jigs from 007 Jigs. So again, and anybody that you see some that has the rubber skirts in there.
Yeah.
Some of them's got marabou, some of them's got the wedge tail, some of them's got kip tail. But yeah, these will catch fish. These have been tested, and every one of these will work. Every one of these will catch a fish. Now it is up to you to get it in the boat. I can't help you if you can't get it in the boat. So
no,
there you
sir.
go. But that's the ones that 007 Jigs is giving away, guys. So somebody's getting a really, really nice box, honestly and truly. So
look at that. You get the box, the jigs. Wow.
Yep. So there's that. So somebody's gonna get some really nice stuff.
So we already have a random number chose. I think we talked about this days ago. And we got this random number up there. I try and make this as random as possible to make sure everybody gets a fair chance. People do get lucky. North Waters gets pretty lucky. I've had a few people that have gotten pretty lucky and got up there a few times. But without further ado, the number is 24. So we're going to jump up here. We're going to look for number 24. We don't need a code or anything. You do win the giveaway. Number 24 is Pops Custom Workshop.
There you go.
Let me get
Congratulations,
that
Pops.
Down. Pops Custom Workshop. Matter of fact, there are a lot of people in this chat that you will be seeing on the podcast in the near future.
Awesome. I can't wait. So I enjoy watching. So
I love that people are enjoying this show as much as I enjoy doing it. I get amped up. I get my cup of coffee or my energy drink, and my wife says it all the time. You know, it's about an hour before the show. I start getting really ramped up, and I get super nervous about 10 minutes before the show starts. I have no idea why. It's a great show to do. I just get a little nervous. This is the 34th episode. If you guys don't know, you can go over to YouTube and you can follow me or subscribe over there is what they call it. The Podcast 2025. It's all one word. And you can see every single episode that we've ever done. 007 is going to be over there shortly. It takes me a little while to get it downloaded and get it uploaded over there. I work a regular job too, so sometimes it takes up to a week for me to get it done. Speaking of who's coming up next, I want to take a second before everybody starts running off. The next guest here on the podcast is going to be none other than Rainbow. Rainbow is going to be over here on the podcast. We're going to get to know much more about him. He likes to do informative stuff. He's done some stuff on YouTube. I know he does it on TikTok. And we're going to get him in here and learn some more about him. Maybe get some tips and tricks out of him. You know how we do it. Now is the time. If you have a question for this man right here, Mr. 007 Jigs, make sure you start typing it in. I will try and get to all the questions as they come along. If you want to help me out, just make sure and shout out their name before you read the question. I try and follow in order, but if you see one in there you want to grab, feel free there.
All right, let's roll them. Let's go.
See what we got.
No, we're not taking questions from Jess. She's excluded.
She said she's got all the questions.
She does. There's if anybody also Skeeter's Lures, as far as ordering wise, just shoot me a message here on TikTok. I'll get you fixed up. If Yep. I'll send you a message, or once you send me a message, I'll get with you as far as kind of what are some of the colors that you guys normally fish with, where you're at. Normally I can put you something together that's going to catch fish, honestly and truly. So Outdoors with Tiny, yes, I will do a variety pack. Yep.
Question before that comes from Hunt Fish Golf 007. Why is Tennessee orange your favorite color?
Actually, it's not. It's just what catches fish.
I seen he skipped over it. I had to grab it.
Oh.
Great job. Appreciate it, Clark. Kill Customs.
Killjoy, my thoughts on the glow-in-the-dark trend. I'm going to be honest with you. I honestly feel like it does have glow-in-the-dark stuff's been catching fish for a long time. There is something to it. I don't understand it. I normally don't fish with glow-in-the-dark stuff or the glow stuff. All I'm going to say is if it's working, hell, keep using it. I eventually I will probably venture off and use it as well. Definitely going to end up looking at trying it because I see a lot of people fishing glow stuff. So there's definitely something to it. I've never fished it, so I really can't speak too much on it, other than it catches fish. So, if it didn't, they wouldn't sell it. So
Harper says, are the Mickey jigs on the list to buy?
Yes, you can buy the Mickey Reed jigs without a doubt. Just shoot me a message on here and we'll definitely get you fixed up for sure.
Stroud's Custom Glide says, ever crappie fished in Grenada Lake in Mississippi?
Grenada Lake is only about an hour. Yeah, Grenada is about an hour and a half from me. I have a buddy, Tim Howell, that guides on all three of those lakes, and he is. If you're ever over this way and you want to go out with a guide so you don't tear your stuff up first, let me know. Long Branch Guide Service is his guide service. he will definitely. You will have a really good time. You're gonna listen to music. You're gonna cut up. You're gonna catch fish. It's gonna be hands down a great time. And like I said, it's worth going out with the guys and gals first, because you can get in a lot of trouble on those 3 lakes, because it don't take but just a second for the wind to get up, and guess what? You're sunk. That's just all there is to it. The wind is horrible on those lakes, but yes, I have fished Grenada, I fished Sardis, I fished Enid. My first 3-pound crappie came off of Enid. I was with Tim, and his scales, he said that it was not a 3-pound fish, and I told him he was nuts. Because I've seen 3-pound fish, and that was the first one that I caught, and I was like, I know it's a 3-pound fish. It's got to be. Anyway, he's like, no, it's just shy, just shy. Well, come to find out, his scales was about 8 ounces off. So, to the bad. So anyway, so needless to say, I ate my first 3-pound fish.
Well, hopefully it tastes good.
Let's see. Did I miss? What did I miss?
What do you think about purple and gold jigs with a laughing face? That's got to be a joke.
I'll give you one guess. That's going to be an LSU fan right there. That's Mr. Mudbug himself. So he's purple and chartreuse always works. So I don't see why purple and gold wouldn't.
Scroll back up here a little bit.
What has changed? What has changed in the last 10 or 15 years as far as size, color, materials that you have seen? In my opinion,
that's from Legacy Lures.
Yeah, as far as materials wise, size, colors, it seems like your brighter colors have started to really come out. And it seems like everybody wants just the brightest jig that they can get for some reason. Now, again, with me fishing muddy water all the time, I tend to stay to the dark side of everything. Again, the Mickey Reed jig, that's not that bright of a jig. It's really not. It does have a lot of dark colors in it, but again, the color spectrum that everybody's gone to has definitely changed. You used to see a lot of just earthy colors and dark colors, whereas now you see a lot of your really bright chartreuse, your really bright greens, things like that. Size-wise, I can definitely tell you this. Over the last probably 8 to 9 years, all you hear about is using the biggest bait you can use, 3 to 3.5 inch baits for these, especially over here on the big 3. I'm going to be honest with you. I've been doing jigs for a long time, and over the last couple of years, I have really downsized. I will tie a 32nd on a number 8. I will do a 16th on a number 8, and have a really small. As a matter of fact, something about like that size right there. That's a 32nd on a number 8, and I will go and catch crappie on this all day long. That size jig. You do not have to have the big baits to go and catch crappie. A lot of it with the live scope, and that's a whole nother ball game, and I'm not going to get into all that part of it. But with live scope, I can tell you this: everybody was so used to going and using the bigger baits. These fish are tired of looking at all that stuff. They want as small as you can get. You know what I mean? I have seen that without a doubt. There are times, yes, you do have to have a big bait, but for the most part, the smaller bait that you got, the better off you are. I have noticed that fish are just like we are. When it's hot like this, they don't want a full meal, just like we don't. They want a snack. You know what I mean? So if you get something really small and get it in front of them, you're 98% better to catch that fish as opposed to throwing that big bait out there and them just looking at it like, hey, no way I'm eating that right now. You know what I mean? Yeah. So without a doubt, definitely downsize your baits. You don't have to have a 3.5 inch bait to go and catch crappie. Or a 3 inch. You don't. I've seen it this time. This is my favorite time of the year to fish, just because everything's schooled back up. I like giving these fish a chance to spawn out and don't mess with them. Let them do their thing. Just me personally. Don't get me wrong. I will go and catch spawning fish, but I'm not there every weekend like a lot of folks are. I'm gonna go and catch a few fish, but this time of the year, I'd rather go out and pull up on a brush top in 15 to 20 foot of water and just sit right there and just catch and catch and catch and catch, because chances are you're gonna catch a bunch of eaters. So, and that's what I want to do. You know what I mean? Me personally. So,
Killjoy Customs wants to know: do you catch a lot on yellow and black jigs?
I used to fish a lot of yellow and black, and then again, the color spectrum kind of gets to all of us, and you gravitate towards bright colors. You know what I mean? You go out on a trip and you catch 10 or 15 fish on a damn chartreuse bait. Guess what? You're gonna keep fishing the chartreuse bait. It's just what it is.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, but the yellow and black, they still don't make yellow and black for no reason. And I just had a custom chenille done in a yellow and black. So there's a reason.
Yep.
There's a reason that yellow and black is still around. So do not shy away from yellow and black.
Great questions down in the chat. Great questions, guys.
Let's see. Yellow and black. Welcome to the dark side.
Yeah.
I must have missed something.
It's Dark Side Custom Lures talking with
Okay.
Rainbow, and he's telling him
Okay.
welcome to the dark side.
I got you.
And
And
they're just
anybody
messing
that
around.
goes and catches, and Corey, anybody in here that likes catching bluegill and stuff like that, there's another. I do bluegill jigs as well, and it's 64th and 32nds. I mean, I love tying these smaller baits, man. I don't know why, but like again, this thing right here, you can catch crappie on that right there.
Yeah.
So, and it's just a bug. It's just goose bites off the backside of it with, it's got a little bit of dubbing, just a black pearl dubbing, in the body, and you can catch crappie on every bit of that, believe it or not. You know, they'll eat them. So, but anytime, anywhere, crappie, bluegill, stuff like that. If anybody needs anything, yeah, my buddy Crappie Carnivore right there got me into doing these freaking spiders, and yeah. So what are buddies for, right, Corey?
That's right.
But he's got me doing these damn spiders right here. So, and that right there on a fly rod with some bedding bluegill, that sun gun right there, you will have a ball. I'm just telling you. So
I'll bet.
Yeah.
You see those exact ones just bouncing across the top of the water all the time.
That's it. And you do a white, you can do them in a white, you can do them in a black. And then, as a matter of fact, who was that was asking about the black and yellow?
That was...
Who was that? I can't remember.
I'm going back. Boy, that was a long way back.
But there you go. There's your
Killjoy was.
Killjoy. There's your black and yellow right there. So, and I'm telling you, these things right here they freaking bluegill will eat them things across the country. I mean, everywhere you go, they'll eat that. So, but I will do this. I will kind of show you something that I've kind of working on, and I know everybody's probably tired of hearing about it. But I might as well use the platform for something good, right? So I know everybody's probably sick of the whole new bait trend that's out right now, right? So anybody that wants to try these, I'm selling these, all right? I am selling these. I'm making them. They do work. They do catch fish. As bad as I hate to say that, they do catch fish. So, so with that being said, and I'm going to call them bait balls is what I'm going to call them. That's going to be the name of it. It's going to be a bait ball. So there it is. So if you don't want to worry about something coming apart and you don't want to worry about having to rig something up, I can do it on any size that you want. But there it is. That's going to be the 007 bait balls is what I'm going to call it.
Very cool.
And again, they do work. They have been tested. So there they are. I know everybody's jumping on the trend with making and not cutting anybody out by any stretch of the means. I want everybody to succeed in whatever they're doing. But again, you're not going to have to worry about no special rigging. You're not going to have to do any kind of that. It's going to be tied to the hook. It's not going to come off. You're not going to have to worry about these tentacles or the rubber legs breaking off. I caught over 20 fish on one the other day, and it looked just like it did when I tied it. So there you go. So that right there, that anybody that's interested in any of that, I can go all the way up to a 1/4 ounce round head, or I can do eyeballs if you want them, but I would rather not. So, but there you go.
I think he said that a couple times now. I don't care about the eyeballs.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But no, this isn't exclusive. I waited till tonight just to show everybody these. So there you go.
Get you some Bond balls, is what they say. Who said that? I was laughing so hard I couldn't see it.
That's my
Firefly.
That's our buddy Firefly. You can always count on him. I told y'all he rode the short bus now.
What'd you think? You knew I was going to put the James Bond song with your
that was freaking awesome. Actually, I was surprised. I didn't think anything about it at first until I heard it, and I was like, it goes with it. That's awesome. So,
I had to do it.
That's right.
That was my first thought. As soon as I started looking at some music, I was like, it's got to be that.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
So there are a few questions coming in there, but I got a few questions for you that we usually ask, and it does have to do a little more in-depth and a little more to do with fishing. So,
okay.
When you fish, is it mostly from the boat or from the bank?
Most of the time when I fish, I'm going to be in a boat.
Okay. And then a dream fishing trip. Maybe even after a certain species of fish, if you could pick anywhere in the world to go, where would your dream fishing trip be?
That's a hard one. Actually, I've got. Can I pick two?
Sure, you can. It's your show. You can do
Number one, I would probably want to go. For whatever reason, I don't know why. I think I would love to go to Lake Fork and go catch crappie.
Okay.
Out of Lake Fork. If not that, my other dream trip would be to get out to Clear Lake in California and go catch some of them big black crappie out there. That would be anywhere to me. Man, I sat there. I was glued to my phone when Eric Cagle and Patrick Stone and all them guys went out to Clear Lake and went out there catching them black crappie out. Because I've always said, even though I've never seen it, I've always said, as big as the bass are out there at Clear Lake, the crappie have got to be that much bigger. I said that they've got to be, and damn if they wasn't. I mean, every fish they caught was over 3 pounds. And I'm just like, and they caught hundreds of fish in a matter of a week or two, and I'm just like, holy crap, man. I mean, anybody that don't know those guys, get on social media and go find those videos. Patrick Stone fishing, Eric Cagle fishing. Go check those videos out. You're going to have to scroll back to probably about April, May time frame. But go back and watch some of those guys' videos of catching those big black crappie out there. I mean, at Clear Lake, it is just phenomenal, without a doubt, phenomenal.
Very good.
Lake Fork, mainly because they have huge white crappie in Lake Fork. And I would love to get down there. And one guy in particular, I would love to get in his boat. One guy in particular, and that's Tommy Ezel. I don't know if anybody in the crappie fishing world, if you don't know him, look him up. Hands down, one of the best guys that you'll ever run across. Give you the shirt off his back. He's just a really, really cool guy. Honestly and truly, does a lot for the crappie fishing industry. Super good guy. Tommy Ezel Fishing. If anybody that's run across him knows how good of a guy he is. I would love to get in his boat on Lake Fork and go fishing with him, honestly and truly. And Clear Lake in California. Them two places.
There you go.
So, yeah.
Great answer.
Yeah, hands down. So
great answer. So one of the toughest questions that I usually ask people, and you can answer this how you see fit, and that is, who would be one of your favorite jig tires, or who inspired you to start tying?
Without a doubt, Mickey Reed, my buddy that's passed away. Without a doubt, he was one of them guys that if you knew him, it was a blessing for you, honestly and truly. I mean, he sat there and showed me so much when it come to the actual tying part of it, what to do. Just a great individual, man. The times that I was fortunate enough to share a boat with him, I mean, if you didn't soak up some knowledge, you missed out, because he was always telling you what to do, what not to do, and how to do it, and all this kind of stuff, And I mean, and he was one of the greatest at catching damn crappie on the bank. You always hear a crappie going to the bank to spawn and things like that, And literally, you would pull up on this guy, and he would be on the bank. Literally, he would be, as he's going down the bank, there's a mud line because his trolling motor is kicking up mud, because he's going down the bank, and he is catching slab after slab after slab. And you're just like, you're in 4 inches of water. How the hell are you catching it? You know what I mean? and believe it or not, I mean, and until I paid attention, that's how it was. And I mean, he taught me that a crappie will actually get in 4 inches of water. Half of their back will be sticking out of the water when they're spawning. Yeah. And I'm just like, you never would think that until you witness it, But he'd take that jig, and he'd have 4 inches of line hanging off the end of that jig pole, and he'd just drop that jig just in the water, be the only thing in the water, and then all of a sudden you'd hear that drag off that damn old Martin automatic reel, because that's what he used. You'd hear that drag pulling off that Martin automatic fly reel, and I'm just like, this is crazy, Without a doubt, hands down, Mickey Reed, he was one of the best to do it, in my opinion. And I can't thank his family enough for sharing him with the world, honestly and truly, because anybody that ever met him or run across him, you had a friend for life, honestly and truly. So definitely one of the good ones that was gone too soon, for sure. So
that's a great answer, man. I'll tell you, I got one more question for you, and I think that's going to be about it. And you may have answered it a couple times, but is there a piece of advice you would like to share with new jig tires, or maybe a piece of life advice that was given to you?
Anybody that's going to get into this craft, or this craft hobby, whatever you guys want to call it, start out slow. Don't get in here and try to conquer everything right off the bat. You're not going to. Take it slow. Learn how to tie with marabou. Learn how to tie with hackle. Learn how to tie with rubber, these wedge tails, or the skirt tabs. Tie several of them and get proficient at it, and don't try to rush whatever you do. Time is on your side, I promise. You've got plenty of time to learn this stuff. Don't rush it, because all you're going to do is get frustrated. And watch video. There's enough videos, and there's enough guys that's doing this. Watch other guys do this same thing and pick up on little small things that they do and ask questions. Don't be scared to ask questions. If you run across folks that's not going to answer your questions, there's somebody that's going to. I promise. Again, I'm free. Y'all send me a message. I don't mind at all. As far as life advice, whew, keep getting back up when life kicks you in the balls.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Keep getting back up. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
So don't waste a pile of money on something. If you see that you're not going to enjoy doing this, don't waste a bunch of money on it. Set it down for a little while, come back to it. You know what I mean? You don't have to conquer everything overnight because you're not going to. And even after all these years that I've done it, hell, I still learn stuff, believe it or not. I still learn little tips and things, that I'm like, damn, I've been doing this all this time like this. Why didn't I just do it this way? It's a whole lot easier. You know what I mean? You're going to learn that. And sometimes time, it comes with sitting there. Time, you're not going to learn everything the first time you do it or the first 20 or 30 times you do it. So without a doubt, take your time with it. Get back up. If you get frustrated, get back up. Don't let it beat you, because honestly and truly, this is something, and the way I look at this too, this is something that you can use in life. Now, I'm not one of those prepping kind of guys or anything like that, but at the end of the day, if something happens and you lose your favorite jig or something like that, you've got a picture in your mind of what that jig looks like. You can get the materials to tie that jig again. You can probably, at some point in time, you're going to need these skills probably, if you need it to go and eat. You know what I mean? Because you can sit here and take a piece of foil wrapper and tie a crappie jig and go catch fish off of a lead head. You can take a lead head and take you a little bit of foil paper, tie it onto a crappie jig hook with a 16th ounce head or an 8th ounce, whatever, and tie that something on there and go catch a fish. It's that simple. It is that simple. So it's a life lesson, in my opinion, that everybody needs to learn. I mean, because like I said, it's a matter of, just like with survival or anything else, as far as going and gathering food to eat if you need it, it's a tool there that you can use that you don't have to go without. You know what I mean? So if you had to rely on something, it's a skill set that in my opinion, everybody needs at some point to be able to go and eat. And two, it's fun. It's fun to be able to go and do that on something that you make, without a doubt. So I was going to show this real quick. Kip tail, this is what we use. It's just a calf tail. Again, you can, Crappie Carnivore right there, you can buy these from him. You can do, they've got thread. He's got thread. He's got the 210 Ultra. And then here's our chenille. Here's some of our crystal chenille that we use. There's a June bug. Everybody loves this June bug. And I'm telling you, this stuff right here, everybody loves that June bug color. So, but just some of the stuff that we use. I didn't, like I said, I don't have everything, but we do have some stuff. But again, JJ's Jigs, you can get these wedge tails from JJ's Jigs. You can get Mike Sloan, Crappie Carnivore, he does them too. JJ does the full size, Mike does the minis. Again, everybody should try it, honestly and truly. If you've got questions about it, or if you've had interest in trying to do it, go for it. Don't sit back and wait. There's not a better time than now to learn how to do this. And again, for 50, 60, 70 bucks, I'd much rather spend it on this and go and spend it on something that I'm not going to use.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I hear you.
So without a doubt. So
I hear you.
So there's all that.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been a great show. I hope you got to talk about everybody you wanted to shout out. That's what this show is all about. It's about highlighting you, maybe the people you work the closest with, and getting you out there to some fresh eyes and getting some new followers.
That's right.
That's why I started this whole thing. Pretty Lures has sponsored it since the beginning, and I've had some great guests on here, and now you're included in some of those great guests. We'll get you over on the YouTube channel, and give me a little time. I'll get that uploaded. Anybody who showed up late to the show, unfortunately, once I upload it to YouTube, you can't see any of the chat, but I do not cut out anything. I put it up there just the way it is. I feel like the raw footage, the raw material, and just letting people watch how it actually happened is the best way. I don't like to cut and chop it up. We've had some great people in here tonight, some great giveaways. Congratulations to everybody that won one of the giveaways. And thank you so much for coming on this show and sharing some of your advice, some of your tips and tricks. And I hope some people get over there and get themselves some of your jigs. I know. Let's see who was the winner of yours over there. It was Pop's Custom Workshop. Now I write all this stuff down. You know, if you have any questions for me, I have it all written down. So I can't wait to see his reveal when he gets some of those jigs, and maybe he'll send you some pictures with those fish on the end of them.
Without a doubt. And Pops, I just followed you, so shoot me a message. Shoot me a message with your address, and I'll get all this stuff sent out. And I may even send you something extra, buddy. How about that? So
there you go. Thank you so much. We're going to let you get to the rest of your night, and that will be the end of the podcast. Thank you so much for coming on, and we will talk to you all soon.
All right, Corey, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the platform, man. I appreciate everything you're doing. Keep up the great work, man. I try to watch every chance I get, so keep doing what you're doing, brother. I enjoyed the heck out of it.
I appreciate it. Thank you, and have a great night.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.